We're trying to be a little watchful of the record so that we don't get these things too long as best we can. I'm not sure yet, so let me try one. Yep. I will make sure that we post this. And so let's prepare to sit. And so the Buddhist cosmologies, the contemplative practices and texts have their own version. This was a contemporary one that I thought I would share with us. But there's actually the 5 remembrances. And the 5 remembrances also are a big piece of the practice. All of us, I think most of us, haven't we done the 5 remembrances? We're going to sit in calm abiding for a time and then invite the 5 remembrance practice. And what I'd like you to pay particular attention to there is what else do you release? What else do you open? What else happens beyond the shamatha practice itself in this idea of the exquisite risk of letting go? What else is the key question? Are you letting go of? We're going to talk about this after. I'm going to pull up the 5 remembrance practice in case there's some of you who might want to go along with that. I can't get to my, let me see if I can do this another way. Mike, I'm looking at you. You can't see that, can you?
No. Well, what's that?
Yeah, what's that? No big deal, right? Here we go. Let's see if I can do it. I can't get to my screen share button around my document. So hang on, folks. I apologize. I'm going to just use it as a possibility for consideration. Let's not worry about that. I'll show it to you later. I'm going to do my version, not my version, one that I practice regularly, and see what words and images come to you here. What feels most real, vital, true. Let's stick with that which opens us, allows the exquisite risk of non-clinging, we could say. Like in the She Let Go, the non-resistance. We might go to non-reactivity, no struggle. Let's rest in this. Inviting the mind to the body. Letting it settle in with each out breath. May we remember that which we love and to which we will also let go. What is the size of the heart that holds that love? Breathe into it. The love of non-clinging, non-attachment, non-reactivity, no self, the love of emptiness, boundlessness, non-clinging. May we offer this practice to the health, to the well-being, to the safety, to the happiness of all beings everywhere without exception. Omitting none, freeing us all. knowing the body is the body. The feet, the legs, and the hips. Watch for our habits, for imagining, for construction, for conceptualizing, for concretizing, seeing these things as solid. The practice is the continual mindfulness, knowing these feet, this breath. And as we touch in, establishing our stable base, we also let go. We let go of distractions. We let go of the list making. We let go of getting it right. Take the exquisite risk. Fully inhabiting this part of the body. Moving from the hips into the back. Feeling its uprightness, its alignment, its balance, its inner and outer stability. We let go of ideas so that we can feel into the center point. Establishing balance, steadiness, and equanimity right here in the body. And then feeling the stabilizing effects of the arms as they drape weighted at the sides. Let them be soft and relaxed. Let go of the idea that you are holding them. Let them hold you. Feeling the balance of the head, its uprightness, the way the crown reaches towards the boundless. And then breathe in as we soften and open and include the whole front of the body. The forehead, the eyes, the ears, and the cheeks. The jaw, the chin, the whole of the face. Let go of this idea of projecting, portraying anything at all. Let go of an image, how it looks, what it's supposed to be, so that you can actually be in and with your own face, the beauty of your own face, uncontrived. Breathing down into the throat, the chest. Breathing into the heart. Creating space and room for this letting go. Touching into the abdomen, the belly, the whole of the breastscape. Breathe into it completely, but let go of this idea that you are the breather. It's a cosmic joke. See if we can allow this body form. We can allow this egoic mind. We can allow this contracted heart to be opened by the breath. And let's not take any ownership. We'll say yes to the breath and how it breathes you. And then we can know as a refuge the breath as the breath. See if you notice the natural rhythm, the effortlessness of the breath. This is also a practice of letting go. We let go of what are habits for controlling, fabricating, manufacturing, driving, forcing, striving to simply be breathed. Taking the exquisite risk, we let go of the control of the breath. This is required to fully experience the breath. Notice the habits of mind, the narrative about the breath, about the mind, about the moment, about the practice. Can we take the exquisite risk here and not be carried away by habit, but use that very thought to awaken? Returning to the present moment in this one breath. Non-clinging. Watch for the tendency to hold the breath. See if we can say yes to its continuous flow. A breath you like and a breath you don't. Just letting it be. Seeing now as we cultivate this shamatha, if you can completely abide the breath, letting it be, letting it in, letting it go. When we notice thoughts about the breath, thoughts about the day, thoughts about the self, there is no struggle. We simply smile and let it go. resting more and more in that vast open space that the breath provides. And to come to rest, we take the exquisite risk of letting go of all that clinging, all that holding, gripping, striving, trying to make something happen. We take the exquisite risk of simply opening. We let go of all of the opinions, all the perspectives, all the prejudice, bias, all of the self-making. We cannot truly connect with the breath while we construct with all that energy. And so we practice diligently letting go. We surrender all the storylines, all the belief thoughts, all the identities, all this history making and taking, all the striving. We release it so that we can truly arrive to the moment that actually is limitless and right here. And in its time, you will notice in that letting go, the nature of the limitless open space naturally expands, but let it happen in its own time. The breath and the body. And then you notice there I am in space, sounds there coming and going. No struggle, no problem, no clinging. Sounds appearing and disappearing. As we rest in that vast open space of letting go. I am not this body. I am not this breath coming and going. I'm not these sounds rising, appearing, and disappearing. I am not these thoughts, forming like solid, real, fixed objects. I can simply recognize them and let them go. Let them be to do what they do. Come, arise, and pass. There is nothing to grip, nothing to contract around, except the mirage of a thought as a solid thing, the mirage of a self as fixed or permanent. We can simply recognize, let it be, let it in, see what's there, let it go. Resting in the groundless ground of awareness. No handles, no ropes, nothing required. Let it go. There is nowhere to fall, no way to fail. You cannot separate yourself from the exquisite reality of this human life. Let go. We don't surrender from life, we surrender into it. This is the arriving, this is the true presence. This is the boundlessness of the present moment. Opening and surrendering, letting go into that vast, luminous, open space. quality of your own heart-mind. And so we will practice for a few moments these 5 remembrances as a further exquisite risk in letting go, letting be, letting in the truth of our human life. This body is of the nature to age. This is a part of the human experience and cannot be escaped. May I recollect this truth each day as I age. Breathing in and opening to this essential Dharma, the exquisite risk of being human, knowing the truth of impermanence. This body of mine is of the nature to get sick. This is a part of the human condition and cannot be escaped. May I recollect this each day as I am healthy and as I am ill. We cannot hold on to this body as permanent or healthy. This body of mine is of the nature to die. This is a part of the truth of the precious human life we have been accorded, and it cannot be escaped. May I recollect this each day and at the time of death. And with each breath. All that is dear to me and all that I love is subject to change and loss. I will be separated from all that I cherish. This is a part of the human condition and cannot be escaped. May I recollect this in every moment of clinging and releasing. Breathing in, letting the truth of this integrate, be metabolized, be known by this body, this breath, this mind, and this heart. I am born of my actions, heir to my actions. All thoughts, words, and deeds reflect my clear seeing and mindfulness. I cannot escape the truth and the consequence of my actions. May I recollect this as I think, speak, and act each day. On this ground alone, will I stand. And then letting go of the contemplations, letting go of the words, taking that exquisite risk to fully arrive just here to this breath, this body, this precious present moment. Rejecting nothing, racing against nothing, holding, chasing, keeping, striving for nothing. Taking the exquisite risk of letting go. Just taking a moment and let go of all those little knots or little tensions or grips. that can coagulate there in the body when we are still. So let's start with where we began, which was, have you come up with other ways of framing this reality, this practice? I've used a couple words now: the exquisite risk of surrender, of letting go, of not knowing, of completely arriving, of groundlessness, of impermanence, of emptiness, of no self, anatta. There's lots of ways we might frame it. Let's write some of yours. I'm very curious. So as you were thinking about this exquisite risk of letting go, and I asked you to come up with some thoughts, what did you come up with? Exquisite emptiness. Relax, trust, faith, relax into it. Wait without knowing. Yes. What else? Let's name some of those. Other words for you. Yeah. Let go of making a living. Yes, this idea of safety, I think, right? This idea that if I had enough money, I had enough, I had the right partner, I had the right neighborhood, I had the right car. I don't know. My kids used to wish they had the right video game. Don't we all? Acceptance. Yes, that's another word, Adrian. That's exactly right. Acceptance is what ultimately fills the space that we create in the non-clinging. Exactly. Who is letting go? Yes, that which is in the clinging, and who, is there any solid who for that? That's right. Right question. Who is letting go? The one who is gripping, but is that any solid self? Nope. Letting go of guilt and shame. That's a big one because we construct an identity around that. Not good enough, not right enough, not worthy enough, don't we? We build a self, an egoic self around that. And so recognizing that they scaffold something that is actually quite painful is really important. And can we then let go of this idea of the self as deficient, failed? Exquisite surrender into the breath, yes. Isn't it true? Amazing. Scary. Fear makes me hungry. Yes, I think it does. Hungry or not hungry, either one for a lot of folks. Presence, yes, wonderful. Doubt. Yes, doubt is what's left, I think, when we're in the clinging. We get scared. And this idea of letting go into vast open space, right, is just even in the practice. We go like, wait a minute, I could drown in there. No ground, groundless, limitless, boundless is the true nature of the self. Nothing to hit, nothing to break at all. These are simply constructs. The more we grasp, the more it slips away. Boy, oh boy, isn't it true? Isn't it true? Thank you all for that. Let's talk about the 5 remembrance practice. How was that for you? What do we've know, Greg and I and Mike and Carrie, Jim, all of us, we've done this practice for 11 years and counting. Right? We've done this practice quite often. We've had the practice of reciting those 5 remembrances every day for some lengthy period of time also. So let's talk about that. Those of you might be new to the practice. How was that for you? What are you noticing as you practice letting go of all of our attachments and our aversions to what we fear, right? Letting go of the idea of our loved ones, letting go of the idea that we could live forever, letting go of the fear of dying even. How is that? Come on, say hi or chat. I'd love to hear from you about this. We've got a lot of practice with the 5 remembrances, so I want to hear from you.
Well, interestingly enough, my my recent cardiac experience, the numbers were so absurd that there was absolutely no way to, wrap your mind or thoughts or anything else about it. It was just a number that, we decided to go investigate. And as we did it, there was not much to even investigate, even though the number was huge.
Off the charts, kind of huge.
Off the charts. 99th percentile. Woohoo!
Yay, you have arrived. A plus.
Something arrived. I'm not sure what the heck it was.
A plus potential for blockage.
Right.
That's amazing. Mike, did you notice the grip anywhere and the continual practice of then just opening and letting it be, letting it in, letting it go?
The only grip that I had was my concern about Robin and leaving her to deal with everything. Yeah. And it wasn't extreme, but it was the prominent one that was there.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, I notice, I wonder, those other of you who have had something emergent or a health scare risk or an accident even, and I've had a couple of those where I thought this could be it. I may not make it through or out of this. And I remember the fear that I had at that time that I've worked with continually and now around what about my family? What about my loved ones? Will they be okay? What about their sorrow, their grief, their distress? And that fourth remembrance is also a part of that essential practice, which is we let go of everything, ultimately, including that. Yeah. Right? We can't hold that either, because then we can't be in the bardo, as they say, the space between breathing and not breathing, the experience of death completely, which, as we have practiced in our bardo study, we want to completely show up for that also, because we continue to have potential and capacities for enlivening that moment with our consciousness, at least.
And interestingly enough, after the procedure and after the results, there was a certain lightness around me. So I can't say that there was no impact, but it wasn't a big sigh of relief. There was just, this feeling of lightness, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, likely, right? Kind of like, okay, just here. It doesn't mean fears don't happen. It just means we don't grip them as realities. We recognize them when they come as what about this and what about that? And am I going to, is it going to be okay? Or am I going to be okay? Or are they going to be okay? And we actually know, don't we, from the practice itself, couldn't you feel it in the practice that everything is most okay right there? That's the okay place. There is no thought that will make our lives okay. There is only the being fully there with whatever is there, and that being not knowing, arriving, this Carrie and I have talked a lot about this over a lot of years, this showing up in the room, Carrie, right? Without knowing living or dying,
Correct.
surviving or not surviving. I'd love to hear you talk about this because we've talked about it a lot.
I mean, my motto is I know nothing, right? And when I try to explain that to people, especially my patients and families, they look at me like I've got three heads, and it's a daily practice. I practice the 3 breath before I enter a patient's room, or I enter. Now it's even more difficult because I can't speak to families in person, so I'm on the phone. And how do you be fully present on the telephone is, a challenge for me that's beyond explanation. I probably the most difficult thing in this whole pandemic for me is coming to grips with that. I cannot be present with people face to face. So
Yes, and the how can I show up then?
yeah,
Right. So that's right. How do we show up when the conditions aren't optimal? Not right.
perfect.
Not the ones we
They're not
want,
perfect.
not the ones we enjoy, are familiar with, right? All of us. I don't know. I have to say, whatever fear of dying I've ever had has intensified, not around the dying, interestingly, but around this felt sense of disconnect, aloneness, not being with. Uh, my thoughts about dying, right? Joke, laugh, have always included being with my family. Like, where'd I get that idea? Being surrounded by those I love. Well, guess what? Not so, not so. And the extra intensifying reality of that because of my fixed ideas around, death could be okay because you're just letting go of the body. That one doesn't seem very hard for me. And letting go of being with those who I love and who love me. And then the stickies, right, begin, and noticing them has been really useful. Carrie and I had someone we know whose father passed this week, and I actually had a very bad dream about that, which kept me up, which means it's good work, right? It's good practice to notice where those deep shards lie. And the fear was that I was dying, and I was trying to tell people, let people know that I love them, and I couldn't. And that fear of, oh no, maybe you won't know, maybe the truth of this love will not be communicated, literally woke me up. And so what a beautiful practice opportunity, another exquisite opportunity to let go of those ideas that it's got to look a certain way, or they've got to know by a certain form. And I was grateful, truly, for being able to see clearly. Don't we have those clinging thoughts, right? Isn't it true? If you really look carefully, the clinging thought that, what about this? How about that? It should look like this. I should get to talk. I should at least be able to look in the eyes of the loved one. And we don't only carry these ideas. Of course, we're just talking about death because that's where we often solidify, particularly. But where else do we bring these belief thoughts? Right into our everyday life, don't we? Right here, it should go like this. You should understand me like this. You should be patient like this. You should be loving like this. I should be loving like this, right? These believed thoughts actually are ego clinging at its best. Ego clinging at its best. And as I say them, can you not feel the very contractedness of those limited, falsely believed thoughts. What are your thoughts about that? Can you feel the grip? My husband just brought me the Saturday treated coffee. Thank you. Cheers. What do you know about that? The way the body-mind grips around these believed thoughts that it should be, this life should be, this self should be, this other should be, must be a certain way in order for my what? Happiness, freedom, ease. Where do you notice the grip? I just shared one of mine, dying and people not knowing I loved them. I discovered that this week. Thoughts about this? I know you've got some because I know everybody's carrying it around. So what's the obstacle there?
I think, I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of like randomly running through my head, but the whole lack of, realizing and knowing you're not in control of anything. And, you know, when I was younger or something, thinking like everything rests upon me and everything's going to fall apart if I don't, those types of thinking. And it's not as intense as it once was now, with the breathing, with what I've been practicing. But it's still there, it's still there. And, where it gets me is in the chest area as well,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I've had those feelings. And of course I've got my little heart issue there, as well.
Yeah.
Just having a slower heart rate. So there's little things that I have to do. And there's those little creeps when I get that anxiety of now going, okay, it's just this, or it's just the stress, and don't let it, but the control, being in control, responsible,
clinging of
and the
that.
clinging. Yeah.
The grip of the wanting to be in control. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Wanting everything to look this way and absolutely perfect. And oh my gosh. And no, it's not that at all. The absolute beauty of everything falling apart is just the perfect thing.
Actually, they say in the practice of surrender and letting go, the suffering and falling apart is required. The dark night, said St. John, is that which leads us to the light. So what about that idea? That actually there's no way until we keep seeing the true cause of our suffering. It's not life, it's not them, it's not it, it's the clinging, gripping, rejecting, avert. And once we realized that again and again and again, right? Because here I am, right, practitioner for many years, going, oh, it's not just death, it's this idea about it. It's the idea that in that process, I want this and I don't want that. And the recognition of that being so critically important and coming right from what? Suffering. Seeing the burn. I call it the rope burn, from that clinging, that whiplash, that grabbing. That helps us see where, right? The nature of suffering. The first noble truth is very helpful to us, isn't it? And helping us see where's the nature of the suffering. It's not in the event. It's not in the circumstance. It's not in the conditions. It's in the way in which I, this constructed I, as Greg was saying, who is it that wants or doesn't want or clings or rejects in this way? And it is a continual opportunity. I see something from Lisa here and a few others. I want to look at our Zoom. The more we grasp, the more, yeah, there's no holding on to that. I have commitments that are yet uncompleted. I'm not done yet here. Yes, this is one of the fears we bring, which is my work, the self work, this work here on this planet, the work to accomplish or save all beings. Look at that one, Andy, right? Wait a minute, I haven't saved all beings. We've got to hang out longer. The fear visits and we surrender. Yeah, then it comes back. Yep, circling like a vulture. Thank you. Isn't it true? Love that. Circling like a vulture. What is the vulture? Our believed thoughts about how this life should be. And the fear that it creates when we go, whoops, it's not going to play like that. The grabbing for me is the wanting to do something. Yes. Instead of being with it first. Yeah, this is the big practice. This is what Carrie was saying also, isn't it? About how to arrive without the prescription, without the plan, without the knowing, without that they are dying, they're not dying. I can offer a med that will work or not work, right? To really show up literally in a room, in Carrie's case, and also true in every one of ours in our way, without the ladder, without the rope, without the, what do they call those things that you mountaineer with, the clips?
Carabiners.
Thank you, carabiner. I got a lot of hidden carabiners, folks. I got them tacked all over here. I could wear those things as earrings, like right there, just so I know I've got it when I need it. And how we continue to recognize through the practice itself, the requirement underscore requirement for arriving naked, bare. What are the other words? Whole and unformed, essentially unconditioned, it says, right? There's the sutta language. I arrive without ideas. I arrive without knowledge. I arrive without the carabiner hidden in my earring. I arrive to this present moment. And this requires an infinite and continuous, I know for sure, letting go of how I wanted the handles. I wanted, as Pema says, we all want a babysitter. And in fact, there's only one, which is our own true nature. Our own true Buddha nature is that which we must come to rest in. Ryan's sense of expectations and entitlements tend to get in the way, don't they? Big ideas. Big ideas. How it should be, how you should be, what I should have, what I deserve. Who likes this one? What's fair and not fair? Don't you love that one? Oh boy, don't we play with that infinitely? That's not fair. This isn't right. That shouldn't be happening. And it all is a part of the clinging process, as long as we remember this. This is all clinging in its infinite disguises. What else? What else do you know about this? Thank you. These are all what I know about this too. What else are you clinging to? Ideas, entitlements, preferences, biases, fears. The way we want it, the way we think it should be. We show up with this continuously, don't we? All. And the recognizing it is the beginning of the liberation that I could see for myself. This will lead me for 1 second into a conversation we're going to have next week. So the Buddha was an action guy, right? He sat, even in his sitting, we understand that as actionable. He sat under the Bodhi tree, right? This is the idea. And then saw the nature of all things as change, the nature of all things as impermanent. I just saw Adrian say the fear of change, right? The Buddha endured and sat through all of the forces of Mara, all of the, you could only have this if you did it right. The monsters will come, the swords will come, you'll be devastated. And he sat through it all. And so this action-oriented process, it feels very actionable, actually began with stillness. It began with silence. It began with non-doing so that we could move towards clear seeing. And that's what Lisa was saying. These ideas that if we only do, then we arrive. And this practice of opening in non-doing, stillness, silence, and spaciousness is a gigantic teaching, isn't it, for us all? Because we all like the idea of fixing something, undoing or doing something, and get trapped in the doing also. What we're going to talk about next week, by the way, is Yasadhara. Yasadhara was Buddha's wife. And Yasadhara is called the one who stayed. The one who stayed, who did not go out, who did not seek enlightenment, who did not become famous, who was not a Buddha. Yasudhara was enlightened, however, by her clear seeing of what needed to be done in her everyday ordinary life, and committed herself to becoming enlightened by this. She was relational. She loved, she cared for, she cleaned, she cooked, she took care of this everyday life. And as a result, was enlightened by that. Very the opposite, you could almost say, of the Buddha who went off monastically, independent. Yes, she's my girl also. How do we choose love every moment, choose presence every moment in these ordinary, everyday ways? I want to talk about the exquisite risk of not being special, the exquisite risk of doing this ordinary life with full presence, and that this is as much the path as all of the amazing cymbal clanging moments of enlightenment. And we don't like this either, do we? This ordinary work of chopping wood, carrying water, of Yasudhara, the ordinary work of seeing your patients and caring for them, the ordinary work of showing up for this, what often feels like mundane, not so interesting work. I have complained about this a lifetime. Oh yeah, I don't like that part. Washing the dishes, yeah, no, I don't like that. That's not me. No, I want that other thing. I don't want the just doing the right. I call it spade work, right? Shovel by shovel, without being special. Anthony, you're there. I'm guessing you want to say something. I just want to say, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, yeah.
I only want to say one thing, which is that Joko, my teacher, wrote a book called Nothing Special, and I'll be reading a little bit from it next week around this idea of the ego going, well, but I am good, and if I'm good, then I get to be a Buddha or a Jesus or a whoever, and we're going to watch for the exquisite risk of doing what we need to do, what needs to be done, without any fanfare, letting go of all the ego that goes, look at me, I'm getting it going on. So I just wanted to say that. Anthony, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on, I'm really glad that you brought up that, allegory or parable or whatever about Yasodhara. When I think it was Adrian posted fear of change, which absolutely, but my first thought was fear of no change and fear of things staying the same. And, the way in which my grasping really presents itself is in just this constant, we were kind of talking about it yesterday a bit, but this carrot on a stick that I'm always chasing. And I don't need to get into like why that is or what it's even about, but it's always like something either subtle or dramatic needs to be changed in order for me to be whatever, to come into
Vital,
myself,
live,
to be peaceful.
present.
Yeah, totally.
That's our
Yeah, yeah.
This is our ADHD, Anthony, and it's like, give me the new thing. Give me the new thing.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, that comes with, right, all of the addictive realities. Like, give me just as long as it's new and adventurous and fun. You're right. Even the new, I'll take the bad thing, even if it's new. I want to talk about the necessity and the practice of tolerating what feels like the same blipping old breath. Here I am, me, the breath, one more time, like there's got to be something else we could be doing here. Something more interesting, something more exciting, something more adventurous, just the same old breath. Well, there's no truth in that. That's the same old brain, that same old mind looking at that brand new thing. And Yasudara is, I think, the most beautiful example of doing that which looked the same with complete presence, with complete love, with complete commitment and care in a way that, of course, what? Nothing special, made extraordinary by presence. But we can't strive for that. We just do the digging. We just do the breathing. We just do the practice. Half of us on this Zoom right now don't practice regularly because we go, yeah, you know, like I already get that. You sit down, you just, right, you find the breath, you hang in there for 10, 20 breaths, minutes, whatever I'm doing. I don't get it. I don't see the point of that, right? Because it's not so easy. And what's not easy about it is not because it's hard. It's because it's just here and then just here. And Yasudara said, I will not. I will be the one who stays to attend to this relative relational world. I'm not going off to a cave. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just going to be in this life, completely doing this washing, this cleaning, this care in a way that then made her extraordinary by her humility, we could say, by her non-egoic relationship to those, that role in her life. And we are all householders, aren't we? We all have that ordinary life of washing and cleaning and sweeping and attending in these everyday ways that I want us to recognize is, in fact, an essential part of the path, as was shown to us by Yasudara, the exquisite risk of being ordinary. Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah, let me look at the chat one more time and then we're going to close out. Yeah, these minuscule moments amount to mountains. Oh boy, don't they? Yes, they do. Enlightenment is realized, not earned. That's exactly right. There is no special award, no plaque, no, and then you looked great. We love the idea of the shining light coming down and radiating our magnificence. Yasudara says, maybe not. Maybe that's just ego clinging you, looking for something special. Maybe the real work is just here in sitting down, being where you are. Yes. Let's sit for a moment together. We're going to get ready to transition. Please contribute to our Healthy Meals Project. I'm going to get to you by tomorrow in the newsletter, which will be coming out, to let you know about how we're going to be sending a letter, a Valentine, or something to the staff at Scripps. What a perfect time to let them know they are loved than this time. 99-cent store, folks, has lots of cheap Valentines. I think they would love them. Yeah. But I'll tell you more. We'll figure this out and I'll let you know about it in the next day. So let's gather ourselves again. Let's move from the doing, the speaking, the thinking. Let's let go of all that selfing to arrive right here again. Relief, 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 and liberation right here. And then we bow the head slightly to the truth of the present moment. So the realities of the gift of this precious human life, that in its everyday way can be quite ordinary and then extraordinary. Extraordinary as we arrive. The drawing of the inner and the outer, the form and the formless, the conditioned and the unconditioned, the dark and the light, all that we like and all that we don't like. We simply rest in the present moment. And let go into it. Finding the breath, feeling the experience and sensations in the body. We are home again. May we dedicate the merits, the blessings, and the benefits of this practice today and all practice throughout all time, coming from all traditions and all directions. May we offer this to the end of suffering, the end of distress, the end of fear, the end of aloneness, and the realization that right here in this moment, we can open and let go into the exquisite risk of the present moment. This is where all life, all love, all connection, and all belonging are available. May we call to mind all those to whom we dedicate this practice. May we call to mind the 5 remembrances that there is only this breath, this moment. We cannot keep, hold, secure, ground into anything more than what? Our own actions, heir to our actions, born of our actions. Our actions are that upon which we stand beyond this life, beyond death. May we be mindful. May we be compassionate and caring in each thought, word, and deed. May we all be healthy. May we all be free from distress. May we all have ease of being. May we all remember who we truly are and go about this beautiful day in this ordinary way of being present. And may this practice today contribute. So be it. Thank you all so much. I'll look in the newsletter tomorrow. If you don't get it, please let me know. That means you have come off of our list. I think we had a little problems, though we're not doing the newsletter every week. Also, I will give you instructions on how we're going to do the notes, the Valentines and the letters to the Scripps staff. I'm excited to share that with you. I think that'd be a lovely little offering to them, as well as I look forward to seeing you on Monday evening, Tuesday morning, Thursday morning. That is Greg. And I, from having that bad dream, fell asleep in the morning and couldn't get Greg on. That's my fault. Please know that that was me, not Greg's not being available. And we will get that straight this week to make sure that Greg is live at 7 a.m. on Thursday. And then next Saturday, we will be talking about the exquisite risk of being ordinary, of the one who stays and does the ordinary tasks in this life with extraordinary love and presence. Yasodhara is Yasodhara. Yasodhara, Buddha's wife. There's a beautiful book written, by the way. I have meant to read it. It feels like good timing. The Buddha's Wife, by two academics, Buddhist scholars, and they imagine, they give a dialogue, beautiful dialogue to Yasodhara and her teachings. They're made up because she did not teach except through her living. So I will look forward to seeing all of you. Yasodhara, got it. Yeah, there might be an H in there. I sometimes after the D, but I think that's Polly. So my guess is you'll be able to find her. I think it's Yaso, Yasodhara. But look her up. You'll know locate her. The Ordinary One. Yes, I love. That's the perfect title for her. The One Who Stayed is how she is referenced. Did not seek worldly, noble or fabulous life at all. Yes, please look her up. Lovely to see you all. Please, everyone, be well. Mike, so happy that you are well. Yay, that's exactly right. Yeah, high five on that. Be well, everyone. Have a beautiful day. It's gorgeous out there. May we. Love and blessings to you all. I'm off for my vaccine. How exciting is that? My little Petco Park run. I feel super excited to get it. I finally got in. I know that the next 2 weeks, by the way, for those of you who haven't been able to get in, there's quite a new flow opening. So if you're in your tier, I think they're opening tiers in the next 2 weeks. I love that this is becoming available for us. Please still be safe. Please take all the precautions that we need to, and I'll look forward to seeing you on Monday evening. All right, everyone. Love and blessings to you.